The long-term consequences of the U.S. policy shift under Trump since the beginning of this year are yet to be seen, obviously. At the same time, I think there are a couple of things that we can already guess at, given what we've seen so far. So the first implication of the policy shift is maybe a little bit of a surprise. This is in the U.S. domestic political support for trade openness. The Chicago Council did a poll just about a week after the Liberation Day tariffs in April of 2025. And they found that 55% of the people that they polled in a very wide nationwide poll said that they support a policy of free trade. This is up 20 percentage points from just a year before. In 2024, the same poll had 35% of Americans in support of free trade. So if there's one immediate legacy of Trump's policy pivot on protectionism and raising tariffs, it's to remind Americans how important trade is for their lives and livelihoods. So that's one shift that maybe wasn't predicted, and I think it's encouraging that sometimes we can steady our hearts and minds and remind ourselves of the importance of trade. The other implications are much tougher. And here, of course, I can imagine a laundry list of consequences in the long term. But let me focus on just one, the one that rises to the top of my list of concerns. And that's the fact that the United States has lost credibility with its trading partners. And that credibility will not be easily regained. Even if in 2029 a new president is elected, and even if that new president says, I'm going to drop all the tariffs that the Trump administration put in place. I'll return to the multilateral bargaining framework under the GATT, under the WTO. I'm not going to renege on my trade deals, whether that's with Mexico and Canada or other partners around the world. I think that countries would be wise and should be expected to act very cautiously, to say, well, you told us that you wouldn't go back after the Biden administration, and yet there we were. So fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And the United States has lots of powerful tools in its arsenal in economic power and influence, but maybe the most important is its credibility with partners and allies around the world. And it pains me to say it, but I think our credibility has been undermined for the foreseeable future. We'll have to earn back that trust over the long run. Yeah, the good news is I think there is a way back for U.S. policy and cooperation with partners around the world. So the challenges that the global economy faces are many. They relate to national security, to climate change, to equality or reducing inequality, sustainability. Even beside the climate crisis, we have to worry about the preservation and need to worry about the preservation of biodiversity or marine ecosystems. These are all problems that demand global cooperation. Preventing future pandemics requires global cooperation. And so the imperative there and the importance to rebuild trust, I think, is made quite plain by the last year at least. And so there's a path forward in terms of incentive. Many countries want to do this together, and they know that the United States will have to be a key part of that work going forward. But I do think that to do this successfully, the realm of trade cooperation especially will need to shift. It'll have to include explicitly consideration of climate, consideration of pandemic preparedness, explicit consideration of national security. And we will absolutely have to tackle the very difficult question of how to deal with market systems, integration with non-market systems, and managing things like industrial overcapacity and overproduction. So there are huge challenges ahead. I am not naive on that fact, but I think that the incentives are very clear that we have to go forward cooperatively.